Imagine a nation willing to fight wars, topple emperors, and completely rewrite its own identity, all just to keep sipping a drink that started life on a misty Chinese mountain. Sounds a bit dramatic, doesn't it? But that nation is Britain, and that drink is tea. In the next few minutes, we're going to trace the incredible journey of how a single, unassuming leaf sailed halfway around the globe, fundamentally rewired British taste buds, and still shapes the way 67 million people start every single day. It's more than just a beverage, it's a national obsession etched into the very fabric of British life. Tea's origin story is almost mythic, isn't it? Chinese legend tells us Emperor Shen Nong first tasted boiled water flavoured by a stray leaf way back in 2737 BCE. For millennia, China was the sole custodian of this magical plant. Fast forward 4,000 years, and Chinese farmers and artisans had turned tea cultivation into an art form, a sophisticated culture of its own. We're talking compressed bricks for ancient trade routes, powdered matcha for Song Dynasty poets who savoured its nuanced flavour, and delicate loose leaf for Ming merchants who understood its burgeoning value. By the late 1500s, European explorers and traders were starting to catch on. Portuguese Jesuits and Dutch traders were among the first to haul small, precious chests of this exotic commodity back to Europe. But the British, they were definitely late to the party. When the East India Company, that colossal trading powerhouse, finally docked in Canton in the 1630s, tea was a pricey curiosity, a true luxury item. It was sold as cha for an astonishing £10 a pound, which, if you adjust for inflation, is roughly £1,200 in today's money. Naturally, only the wealthiest aristocrats could afford the stuff, and they'd drink it in tiny, exquisite porcelain cups, almost as a quiet declaration of their status. It was a rare, expensive indulgence, not yet the everyday brew we know. Then, in 1662, everything changed. A pivotal moment arrived with Catherine of Braganza, a Portuguese princess who stepped off a royal ship carrying a chest of loose leaf tea as part of her dowry. She was marrying King Charles II, and with her arrival, she didn't just bring a new queen to court, she brought tea directly into the heart of British high society. Overnight, tea became the ultimate flex, a fashionable must-have for anyone who was anyone. The renowned diarist Samuel Pepys, ever observant of social trends, tried it in 1667 and noted simply, "I did send for a cup of tea, a China drink." This understated entry belied the revolution bubbling beneath the surface. Within a mere decade, London's bustling coffee houses, once the exclusive domain and intellectual playground of merchants, writers and thinkers, began to rebrand. They transformed into penny universities that now proudly served tea alongside coffee. This shift rapidly democratized the drink, making it accessible to a wider, though still relatively affluent, public. The numbers tell the story. Tea imports leapt from a modest £40,000 a year in 1690 to a staggering £240,000 by 1720. Naturally, the taxman noticed this burgeoning market, and Parliament, always eager for revenue, slapped on an eye-watering 119% duty. But did this deter the British? Not a chance. Instead, it simply fueled thriving illicit trade. Smugglers, operating under the cloak of moonlit nights, landed crates of tea on secluded beaches from the rugged coast of Dorset all the way to Scotland. Britain, it was now abundantly clear, was officially hooked. Here's where the story gets a lot more uncomfortable. Tea's meteoric rise in Britain, its journey from luxury to staple, tragically rode on the backs of enslaved people. As tea consumption exploded, so too did the demand for sugar, its perfect partner according to some. Sugar poured in from vast brutal Caribbean plantations worked by enslaved Africans. At the same time, tea continued to pour in from China. Mix the two together and what did you get? A cheap, incredibly effective calorie hit, perfect for the burgeoning workforce of the Industrial Revolution, who were pulling grueling 14-hour shifts in factories and mines. By 1800, the average London labourer was drinking more sweet tea in a week than a Georgian duke would consume champagne in an entire year. a stark illustration of the drink's new role as an essential fuel for the working classes. Meanwhile, the mighty East India Company faced a massive problem, a severe trade imbalance. They were buying vast quantities of tea from China, but China wasn't particularly interested in British goods. This led to a massive drain of silver from British coffers. Their cynical or brutal answer: opium. Grown in British India, opium was forcibly traded with China. When China, understandably, tried to stop this devastating trade, Britain didn't hesitate. They sent gunboats, initiating the Opium Wars. These conflicts fought purely for commercial gain, forced open Chinese ports, ceded Hong Kong to Britain, and, critically for our story, guaranteed the continued uninterrupted flow of tea. This dark chapter proves that Britain's favourite drink was never just about taste. It was a powerful, often ruthless engine of empire. By the 1840s, China still held the ultimate secret, the precise methods of tea cultivation and processing. Britain was dependent, and dependence was a weakness. Enter Robert Fortune, a Scottish botanist, an audacious Mandarin-speaking spy, and a real-life Indiana Jones figure. The East India Company, desperate to break China's monopoly, paid him handsomely to undertake a mission of industrial espionage. Fortune's task: to sneak into the heavily guarded Wui Hills, pose convincingly as a local merchant, and pinch not just tea seeds but actual 20,000 tea plants, along with the invaluable know-how of how to grow and process them. He faced immense dangers, navigating treacherous terrain and constant suspicion, often travelling in disguise. Yet he succeeded. He painstakingly shipped his precious cargo, plants, seeds, and even Chinese tea experts to the foothills of the Himalayas in Darjeeling, India. The mission was a resounding success, a biological heist of epic proportions. Within mere decades, India, now a British colony, overtook China as Britain's primary tea supplier, slashing prices by a staggering 75%. Tea went from being a luxury, a status symbol, to an everyday staple faster than you can say Builder's Brew. It was a game changer for British consumption. While the empire was busy rearranging global agriculture and trade routes, back home a rather elegant problem was brewing. Anna, the 7th Duchess of Bedford, found herself facing a pressing, very British dilemma. Those dreadful hunger pangs that stuck around 4 p.m, a long stretch between lunch and the fashionable late dinner. So, in 1840, she came up with a delightful solution. She began inviting friends to Belvoir Castle for tea and walking in the fields. This simple yet revolutionary combination of strong black tea, delicate finger sandwiches, and indulgent scones with clotted cream and jam quickly went viral among society hostesses. It was an instant hit. Within a decade, afternoon tea had transformed into a national pause button, a cherished daily ritual. For the upper classes, it was an elaborate affair, served with gleaming silver services and fine bone china. But the ritual wasn't confined to the aristocracy. Even mill workers on their factory floors would slap brown enamel teapots down for their own version of an afternoon cuppa. Same comforting drink, different china, but a shared, deeply ingrained ritual that offered a moment of respite and connection across all social strata. It truly cemented tea's place in the British day. The falling price of tea, thanks to Indian production, met two crucial inventions that further democratised its consumption: the robust heat-retaining enamel teapot and the ever more common gas stove. By 1900, Britons were drinking an astonishing £6 of tea per head each year. Tea wasn't just popular, it was woven into the national identity, especially during times of crisis. The world wars made tea consumption almost patriotic. The government rationed butter, meat, even bread, but they made sure tea kept flowing, providing a generous 2 ounces per adult per week. Winston Churchill famously called tea the soldier's greatest comfort, recognising its vital role in morale. Meanwhile, clever advertisers capitalised on this sentiment, selling tea as the ultimate social glue. Join the tea break, boost morale. In the factories of the 1950s, production lines literally stopped twice a day for mandated cuppa, a non-negotiable pause for workers to refresh and regroup. This tradition, a testament to tea's enduring power, still holds strong on building sites and in offices from Birmingham to Belfast today. It's a collective sigh, a moment of shared humanity. Today, the UK still guzzles an incredible 100 million cups daily. That's a staggering 36 billion cups a year. It works out to about 1.9 kilograms of dry leaf for every single man, woman and child in the country. Just walk down any supermarket aisle and you'll see the living legacy of those colonial roots. English breakfast is typically a blend of Assam, Ceylon and Kenyan teas. Zero Chinese leaf in sight. Yet paradoxically, ask any Brit if they fancy a cup of cha, and they'll instantly understand you mean black tea. Regional quirks certainly endure. Yorkshire, for instance, prefers a malty brew strong enough to stand a spoon in it, while Cornwall drinks it weaker, often without milk, just a slice of lemon. And don't even get me started on the great biscuit dunking debate. Is it a digestive or a rich tea that reigns supreme? The nation remains divided. Either way, the kettle is invariably the first appliance switched on after moving into a new house, and offering a cup of tea remains a universal, unspoken British greeting, a gesture of comfort and hospitality. Tea isn't just a drink in Britain, it's the nation's social operating system. Need to break the ice at a job interview? The reception always offers tea. A neighbour pops round unexpectedly. The kettle goes straight on. Had a truly dreadful day? The immediate comforting response is, I'll make a pot. The leaf that left China 4 centuries ago now anchors British identity more profoundly than Big Ben or even the Beatles. It funded cities, powering the docks of Glasgow, the exchanges of London, yet it also serves as a potent, if uncomfortable, reminder of imperial shadows, the opium trade, the horrors of slavery, and the exploitative plantation economics that fueled its rise. It's a complex legacy steeped in history. If you're enjoying this story and find these hidden histories fascinating, why not hit that subscribe button? And please drop a comment below telling me how you take your tea. I'm genuinely curious to know your perfect brew. So, how do you brew the perfect cup, the truly British way? First, always boil fresh water. Next, warm the pot. This ensures the tea stays hotter for longer and brews more effectively. Then it's 1 teaspoon of loose leaf or 1 bag per person, plus 1 for the pot for good measure. Steep it for 3 to 5 minutes, allowing the flavours to fully develop. Now, do we add milk first or after? Science actually says after, as it scalds the delicate tea leaves less. And sugar is entirely optional. But a biscuit, that's practically essential. Whatever you do, and this is crucial, never microwave the cup to reheat it. It's kettle or nothing but a proper brew. So next time you see a Brit clutching a takeaway tea on the tube or you're offered a cup at someone's home, remember that unassuming paper cup or delicate mug contains 400 years of global trade, daring espionage, profound social change, class revolt, and pure, unadulterated comfort, all rolled into one. A single Chinese leaf truly transformed an island nation into a land of kettle-clicking, biscuit-dunking teaholics. Pour yourself a cup, raise it high, and toast the quiet leaf that, in its own remarkable way, quietly built modern Britain. If you want to learn more about Britain, then check out these videos, and I will see you in the next one.